Have you ever felt like you're just a cog in some giant machine at work? Well, today we're going to pull back the curtain and look at the original blueprint for that machine. We're going to decode the century-old ideas that are, believe it or not, still secretly running your workplace, whether you're in a factory or a cool tech startup. So let's start with a feeling that I think most of us know all too well. That sense of being a small, maybe even replaceable part in a huge, impersonal system. But what if I told you that feeling? It's not an accident. It was engineered. Let's dig into why work so often just feels like work. Yeah, this probably looks pretty familiar, right? Clocking in, following procedures, hitting those targets. This isn't just routine, it's a legacy. If your job feels like this perfectly designed, kinda unyielding machine, that's because, well, it is. This is the direct result of a plan drawn up over 100 years ago to turn human effort into predictable, reliable clockwork. All right, so here's our game plan. We'll start with that cog in the machine feeling. Then we'll meet the architects who actually designed it all. We'll break down their 3 big blueprints, see how they work together in the real world, and finally, wrap up with why this stuff still matters so much today. So who were these architects of order? To really get why our offices and factories are built the way they are, we have to go back in time and meet the minds who first drew up the plans. So it all kicked off during the Industrial Revolution, and the challenge back then was huge. How do you build massive, scalable economies basically from scratch? The answer came from a single, really powerful idea. What if we treat the organization itself like a machine? The thinking was, if a company could run with the precision and predictability of a clock, it could grow almost infinitely. And just like that, the machine metaphor was born. Okay, so this whole machine idea was really built on 3 core beliefs. First, specialization. Every person has one specific job, just like a single gear in a clock. Second, standardization. This meant people were seen as interchangeable parts. If one person leaves, another can slot right in and do the exact same job. And finally, predictability. The whole system runs on fixed rules. If something breaks, you can diagnose and fix it, just like a mechanic working on an engine. Now, out of all the chaos of those early factories, 3 key figures stepped up. These were the architects who looked at all the mess and inefficiency and came up with these powerful new systems to create order. Let's meet them. Frederick Taylor, Henri Fayol, and Max Weber. In so many ways, we're all still working inside the houses they built. All right, now for the main event. Let's dig into the 3 core blueprints that these architects created. Each one gives us a different way of looking at the organizational machine, and together they form the foundation of what we call classical management. First up, we have Frederick Taylor, who I like to call the optimizer. This guy was absolutely obsessed with efficiency, right down to the tiniest detail. He believed that for any task, whether it was laying bricks or flipping burgers, there was always one single best way to do it. And his mission was to find that one best way using science. So, Taylor's whole system was built on 2 main ideas. First, this one best way could be discovered through super detailed time and motion studies, literally timing every single movement. And second, there had to be a strict separation. Managers did all the thinking and planning, and workers, well, they just did the laboring. No crossover. You can see Taylor's ghost everywhere today, but a perfect example is a Malaysian fast food kitchen. Think about it. Every station is specialized, every single movement is timed down to the second, and every product is put together using a strict formula. That workflow, that's pure Taylorism. In a system like this, the process itself is the boss. Now, let's meet our second architect, Henri Fayol, or the conductor. See, if Taylor was hyper-focused on the individual worker on the factory floor, Fayol was up in the boardroom. He wasn't worried about one task. He was thinking about the whole organization, how to direct it, how to coordinate it, how to manage it from the very top all the way down. Honestly, Fayol's principles are the reason our org charts look the way they do. He gave us the scalar chain, that clear top-to-bottom hierarchy. He gave us unity of command, the simple but brilliant idea that you should only ever have one boss giving you orders. And he talked about span of control, the idea that managers can only effectively handle a limited number of people. It was all about replacing chaos with total clarity. And you know, nowhere are these principles more critical than in a place like a large public hospital. This isn't just about being efficient. It can literally be a matter of life and death. A nurse needs to know exactly which doctor's orders to follow. That's unity of command right there, in action. And during a crisis, a clear chain of command ensures that decisions are made fast and resources get where they need to go, all from one central point. Okay, our third and final architect is Max Weber, the rule maker. Weber saw a huge problem with organizations that were run by the whims of a charismatic leader, or, based on who your family was. His solution was this ideal system he called a bureaucracy. It was designed to be perfectly rational, totally impartial, and completely fair, because it would run on a foundation of fixed rules, not personal feelings. Weber's whole idea was built on a system of rules, not rulers. Power didn't come from someone's personality or charm. It came from their official position, their title. He called this rational legal authority. This was supported by a clear hierarchy, kind of like Fayol's. But the real game changer was the idea that there should be a written rule for everything. In Weber's perfect system, there's a procedure for every possible situation, all designed to make sure everyone is treated fairly and consistently. And you can really see Weber's ideal bureaucracy as the bedrock of any modern government. Think about a Malaysian ministry or even the military. Promotion is supposed to be based on clear rules and merit, not who you know. And when you go to apply for a passport, that strict adherence to SOPs ensures that you get the exact same impartial treatment as the person in line behind you, no matter who's working the counter that day. Okay, so we've met our three architects, and we've seen their individual blueprints. Now, let's put it all together and see how these different pieces of the machine fit side by side. This little chart here really makes the differences pop. You can see how Taylor is zoomed all the way in on the individual task. His metaphor is the assembly line, all to maximize efficiency. Meanwhile, Fayol and Weber are both zoomed out, but they're looking at different things. Fayol focuses on the manager and the command chain to get good strategic coordination. Weber focuses on the whole structure. His metaphor is the rulebook, to make sure everything is fair. So basically, one guy optimizes the work, one optimizes the manager, and one optimizes the entire system. So look, these are 100-year-old ideas. You might be thinking, why should I even care? Well, we should care, because as we're about to see, this old machine is still ticking away, right under our noses every single day. And this brings it all back to you. I want you to stop and think for a second about your own job, your own company. Think about its invisible architecture. Does it feel like it prioritizes Taylor's efficiency above all else? Or is it all about Fayol's clear hierarchy? Or maybe it's run by Weber's ironclad rules. Which machine are you in? And here's the final thought I want to leave you with. Today, we talk a lot about agile, innovative, and human-centric workplaces, and all of that is real and important. But beneath all the modern language of collaboration and empowerment, those classical foundations are still there. Specializing tasks, planning from the top, and using rational rules. That's the bedrock that allows all of our modern complexity to even exist. So maybe we no longer see ourselves as just cogs, but make no mistake, the machine is definitely still running.